Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of the Advanced Stock Market course. And in this episode, I will be going over just stock selection, essentially. What I mean by this is what tickers do I choose, high relative volume, do not trade list, best stocks, how I find my stocks, how I create my watch list, third day runners, and a lot more content. But guys, if you haven't gone through my beginner watch list, my beginner lessons, please do that first so you guys can understand this more. It only will benefit you. But let's get right into this episode. I want to start off with stock selection, right? And the importance of selecting the right stock. So your number one focus needs to be is what is your edge? So what I mean by that is when you look for a stock, and historically you've looked for a stock, what stocks have given you the highest success rate? This could be stocks over $1, stocks under $1, stocks over $10. So you need to kind of find your niche and you need to find what suits you best. What is your edge? So for me personally, what my edge is, what I look for stocks under, I'd say 25-30 million float. Under 20 million float is probably my ideal best criteria. In terms of price, I don't mind anything from, I'd say, 0.2 cents up until $20. I enjoy trading those. Even up to $30, I don't mind. For me, it's just a percentage. If I'll get a good amount of percentage in. So I aim for the float. Float is probably my number one criteria because I want the stock to give me momentum, right? Let's say the float is 100 million and the volume is 20 million. There is not a lot of momentum. Sometimes even if the float's 100 million and there's 200 million volume, still the momentum will never be as much as, let's say the float's 5 million and the volume 100 million. There will never really be as much because this is like 20 times more. So it's very important you guys understand your edge. Now, relative volume. What is relative volume? So relative volume is when you compare your current volume compared to the average volume in a certain period of time. So what I mean by this is, let's say for example, the volume on stock GME is current volume is 300 million and the average volume over the last 90 days is 5 million. This is good relative volume. Why? Because the volume has had a substantial increase compared to what it was. And this is what creates something you call momentum. Now, when I say scalp, day trade, multi-day, so relative volume gives you a chance to kind of like see what a trade is for you. So a day trade would be high relative volume. You need a good amount of relative volume for it because you want to play momentum. Something which is a swing trade, you probably have lower relative volume because you're looking to anticipate the volume coming in, right? And then again, with relative volume, you could also look for multi-day stocks. So something like Luna, which is multi-day, sometimes it runs intraday, but it also looks good on a swing setup. Something like QUBT, which has been running the last few weeks because it's been a good multi-day play, a good day trade and a good scalp. And it's had a good amount of relative volume. Now, I'll use an example from today. Why I focus on high relative volume. So you can see the data here and you can see this ticker is ZENA, Zena. This was a ticker play today. But you see here the REL volume, relative volume is 34.64 million compared to the average volume, which is 3.26. So the relative volume is a lot higher. And look, the volume on this is 113 million, right? So what this tells us is compared to the average volume, the relative volume is what? 10 times higher, which is a very bullish sign. So X10 basically. Now, why is this good for a day trade, right? And Zena is a great example of this. Zena gave probably, if you were on my Twitter today, 3, 4, 5, 6 different opportunities to get in this play today. Not only that, the play was running, and it ran up over what, 300-400% today. If I'm not wrong, from $2, $1 to all the way to what right now, $8-9. So again, this is good for day trading. Why? Because this is momentum. There is volume, and there are active buyers and sellers within a day's period. Whereas, for example, a play like, I don't know, a swing trade like APLD, for example, this is a good swing trade. Why? There is active volume on a higher time frame rather than a short time frame. So when looking at relative volume, if you have higher relative volume, it's usually a good sign for momentum. So just keep an eye on this, guys. It's a good tip for you guys from someone from more of an advanced type of trader. Now, what actually creates high relative volume, right? It's good knowing high relative volume, but what creates this? A catalyst. What I mean by a catalyst is, let's say for example, Zena is looking towards, I don't know, the future. In 6 weeks from now, there's a catalyst saying there will be numerous tests on a tumor, and they will see if they've passed this test, if they've got level 1 data, level 2 data, or they're going to go for that next level. But it's essentially anticipating news before it comes. So you're looking at potential promotion or potential good news for the business in the future. That creates high relative volume. Another one is news. So when a play drops news, and a play just instantly starts to run, and it shoots up to the moon. So you could use an example. You could use examples from historically. Let's just say NVDA starts running, and oil starts running, right? And you get oil plays. INDO starts running due to there being a limited amount of oil, or let's just say another play, GOVEX, starts running because of monkeypox news. So this is what creates that extra bit of volume, right? And it gives you the high relative volume. Again, huge buying. So something like ZENA today, there was a huge amount of buyers in. And again, when there's huge buying, that's volume. Buy equals volume, sell equals volume, and that is high relative volume. So again, using the ZENA and QUBT example. And I'm going to go over these two tickers, right? Let's go over, I'll go over these at the end, so I'll go over it when we have a bit more time. A do not trade list, right? And I want to use this example. So I had a play yesterday with someone asked me for ELPW. And you know what? I was like, you know what? Let me add this to my watch list. I added it to my watch list. And a lot of people were pumping this on Twitter. I was like, let me follow this trade. I woke up in the morning and look at this, right? Can you guys see this candle? The people that were trying to pump this, what they did was they loaded over Friday, created hype over the weekend, and it's a group of people, they always do this, and pumped. They got that pump, they sold, because they're little chickens, and they let the play dump. All newbies lost out. If you see this on Twitter, and you've seen this exact play ELPW, the guys that did this, block them, remove them, and never ever even mention them again. Those are the biggest. They can't trade. They don't know how to trade, so they need to create this volume. Hence why they start tagging me in it. Then essentially start tagging Tiger, so they could create some sort of volume within a play. That's the only way they could make money. Essentially pumping and dumping. If me and Tiger opted this way and we're going to do this, we can do this, right? Because we've got a lot of followers. We've got a lot of people following us. But we're not. We want people to make money on their own. We don't care about pump and dumps. Probably the easiest way to make money, guys. I'm not even joking. I could find a low float play tomorrow. I could say to Tiger, let's pump this. Let's tell people this is going $10. And let's sell once it pumps up. We don't do this stuff, guys. We trade runners intraday. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. Stay careful from these guys. So you want to, how do you do this? You see a play being pumped on Twitter. Type it on your search. And you'll see an entire group of people pumping it every single day. They'd be friends. They'd be associated. They'd be in the same Discord. Right? There's no booms there, you know. Like they're booms, but they're boomers essentially. So avoid low volume tickers. Again, you'll see another one being pumped are low volume, low float tickers. They have essentially not much volume at the time. They have low float, and then they'll be, oh yeah, this has this short squeeze. It's gonna do this. It's gonna do that. It's gonna hit $100. Guys, if trading was that easy, we'd all be billionaires living in the Bahamas. Trading is a very hard game. So have that list where it's a do not trade list. Is I've got a group of people. I've muted 90% of Twitter, by the way. I've only got very few people I actually have muted. So a lot of people in the small cap industry have muted. I can't cope with their rubbish, essentially. They can't trade. So what I do is I just mute them. So one of my tips though is, and this is not something you have to follow, I personally don't take trades at WAP, and it's a habit I've gained for the last 6, 7, 8 months. For me, my success rate has increased, and I also stopped over trading by doing this. So trade days where the stocks are probably not being pumped as much, I kind of avoid the trades that are just being shorted extensively. So it's very important, if you guys want to follow this, that you only trade plays over VWAP. An example from today, QMMM. I didn't look at this trade once today. Why? Under VWAP, and there is no trend. What I mean by there being no trend is the play is on a heavy downtrend below VWAP, and there's nothing really going on with it. The only way I would have traded this trade was if we broke back above VWAP, we held, and then we pushed up. Otherwise, for me personally, so look, when I wait for it is, I essentially want it to break, I want it to hold, and pretend this yellow line is VWAP, right? This is my VWAP. I want VWAP to be like this. I don't want VWAP to be like this. If VWAP is here like this, I don't enter. I'm not looking for trade. So that's just a tip for you guys, from me. Let me just go back on this. Okay. Now, how to find stocks. A lot of people I don't know why they don't like telling people how to find stocks, but it's very easy, very simple, and it's nothing special. You don't need to pay anyone to find a stock. You could even use Discords to kind of find stocks. But get Webull, you could get the Webull app, or you could get on web browser, Top Gainers, or Finviz. I'll give you an example of both, but let's just say start with Webull. So Webull, go on Webull on Google, type in Webull Top Gainers, or go on your App Store or your Google Play, type in Webull app. Download the app on your phone. That's easy for me. Make an email address. It's free for 3 months. No, it's free. It's free. But you won't get level 2 day after. I think level 2, level 3 day after 3 months or something. But you don't need level 2. Level 2 is full of rubbish anyways. But use your Webull Top Gainers. On your app, you could go through your after hours list, you go through your 1 day list, and you could just see what's running and what's not. Finviz is slightly different. It won't give you your top gainers for the day, but you could find plays based on sectors, flow, relative volume. So if you are looking over the weekend to find any plays that you potentially might like, you could look through the Finviz screener. It's free to use. You are not paying any pennies for this. So here you go. That is your tool. And it's a good tool to use. I don't use Finviz personally, I don't use this, but I do use Webull Top Gainers. How do I create my watch list, right? And me personally, what I do is I mark the pre-market lows and highs. I look for a low flow, a nice volume, and I'm gonna give you some examples on Webull. Let's go to our Webull chart. Quickly. So how I create my watch list. And I'm going to give you an example from today. So what I'll do is, obviously I've won the Webull Top Gainers. The first place today I saw Zena. I can start from the beginning. I saw Zena running, and saw this around, if I'm not wrong, around into the open. So I got on around 10, and we were running around here. We formed this flag. I didn't get in initially, I kind of missed this area. But this met my watch list criteria. Why did this meet my watch list criteria? A nice increase in volume. That's a good sign. Now we have this resistance, right? Now we go to the daily chart, and now we pull back and we continue up and we break over this level. Once we broke this level and we held, this becomes on my watch list because it's a stock to watch. And when a play breaks, holds and breaks, it shows there is continued momentum. Not only that, the flow on this met my criteria, so it's lower flow and it was a good trade to take. So this is just one example of a trade I kind of look into when trading stocks intraday. KULR was another one I looked into. I traded this today. We traded from 0.75. We ended up hitting 0.94 on this. But you look at this, nice amount of volume, over VWAP, closed over VWAP. We had this initial push. We broke up and we held. So these are just examples of some tickers I have on my watch list. Let me just go in more detail for you guys. Okay. So when I create my watch list again, I said I mark my pre-market highs and lows. So pre-market starts at what time? 4 a.m. right? I'll give you an example, right? Pen. Sorry about my writing. My writing is a bit trash. That's 4 a.m. A.M. And let's say that stock, the low of the AM is here, right? And the stock pulls up. So this is your low, 4 a.m. low. Bang, and it goes like this. Now use this line, and now this is your pre-market high. And the market closes. What time does the market open? So 9:30 is basically your high. So let's say that's 9. That's 9 a.m. right? So that's like 9:30. Let's say your high was around 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Now I've marked this level. Now what I do is I have these two levels marked, one color here. I have this level marked, and if a play breaks above my pre-market high, it's instantly on my watch list, and I look for entries. So that's just another tip for you guys when I use pre-market highs and lows. If it breaks up below the pre-market low, I remove it from my watch list because I'm not a short trader, so there's no use for it. Now I also obviously look for low floats. A low float, like I said to you, anything under 30, 25, 30 million, anything under 20 million is a treat. Nice volume. An example from today, like I said, was that play Zena. The average volume I think was like 3 million, and today's volume was 100 million plus. Again, a great example of something with nice amount of volume. Now, multi-day runners. What are examples of multi-day runners? Right, what you do is, guys, if play runs on Monday, keep it on your watch list. Have an extra watch list, just add it to the watch list and see how it works on a Wednesday. And this is a third day runner tip, it's known. So what you get is something called follow through days, right? I'm gonna show you examples of QUBT and Luna. Let's show you some examples. QUBT was a perfect example of a multi-day runner. Why was this a good example of a multi-day runner? Number one, the fact is the theme. Right now, the main fact for me is, even though the theme was good, the quantum theme, is the fact that we broke daily levels, and from these daily levels we continued on. Now I'll show you examples. Right, daily level number one was 1.65. We broke, we came back down. Then when we broke our second daily level, this became a multi-day play. Now let's look at the weekly chart and let's look at historically this play. Right, look at this level here. We broke a level from what? From the 6th of October? Yeah, from the 6th of October. And we also broke a level from here, which is around 4.92. So breaking these daily levels gave us a good multi-day runner. And we played this about 5, 6, 7, 8 times last week. So a good example of multi-day runners will always be with the theme, right? The theme will always be one of the most important factors when it comes to multi-day runners. If the theme is hot, then you're gonna have multi-day runner. Let's say, for example, oil plays are running for the week, then plays like Indo will be multi-day. Let's say now we switch themes to low floats. You'd have multi-day runners of the similar float stocks. You get plays that run 3-4 days just because of the theme of the week. Let's say war stocks are trending, war stocks will run multi-day. A good example of a play that will run multi-day is mark your daily levels. If it breaks that daily level, let's say on Monday, the daily level is 1.65. We break that level into Tuesday, it holds that level. Wednesday, you'll see a run. So that's a good example for follow through day or multi-day runners. Now let's go to the next slide. Now, trading news. Trading news is probably, in my opinion, one of the most overrated / underrated at the same time ways to trade. Why do I say overrated? Overrated being, trading news alone will not make you money. A lot of people could. Why don't you just get a scan out news and buy everything with news? It won't work. It simply won't work. There's a lot of plays throughout the day that give you good news, right? There is probably about 10, 15, and then most of them drop, only 1-2 run. But what do you do, or how do you wait? So my experience with news was, when I started, I used to just think, okay, good news, this play's gonna run 100%, there's no chance it drops. Now what happens is, I'll tell you why it drops. You get investors that are long term on these plays normally. They wait for the news, they sell when it hits the good news. And this results in the play falling down. Why? Because they don't have anything else to look forward to now. They've got their news, they're taking their profits, and they're done. And then you've got news where people don't expect news and it runs, and those plays usually do better. Now what you want to do is, you want to always wait for that first pullback. Right, let's show you. So let's just say stock has got news here. Oh my god, it has cured a tumor. Boom. You don't enter. You're not entering here. You're not entering here. You're not entering here. You're not entering here. What do? You wait for a pullback. And what you want to wait for is confluence. You wait for patterns, reversal patterns. You know, make sure the volume stays up, and then you enter. Once we break, you enter, and you look for the next level of resistance. A lot of people, what they do is they go boom news, and they'll do it every single time. It'll save you. They go enter. Oh my god, good news. Boom. They're down 30%. Goes up, down. Why? Because the news, people have sold the news. So it's just good. Make sure it's very, very important you understand the basics of sell the news, buy the news, etc. Don't solely rely on news. Mix it in with technical analysis. That's your best bet. Now, stock selection. Why is this so important? It's another way to manage risk. What do I mean by this? Now, if you choose the wrong stocks, you are more likely to go red. This color. You are going to go to this color. If you get the right stocks in, you manage your risk, and you do not chase, and you make sure you are choosing the right stocks, the right flow, you are more likely to do this. Green. So it's very important you choose the right tickers, okay? So always choose the right tickers. Why? It's like a safety barrier, man. It's a safety barrier. It's essentially jumping off a plane or whatever with a parachute and with the right tools. And you do a bungee jumping and stuff like that. You want to do it in the right way, right? You don't want to just jump without any flow, any ways to like ensure your safety. Now, guys, I'm happy for you guys that you joined this presentation. Guys, please drop a like, drop a comment, and show that support, show that love, because I'm gonna do this more and more. The more you comment, the more it motivates me to get things done. Episode 3, episode 4 will hopefully be out on Wednesday. I got graduation tomorrow, so I'm hoping Wednesday night I could do episode 4, and then I'll do episode 5 over the weekend on a Sunday. So Friday night, Sunday. And yeah, thank you guys very much for joining. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.